at top stories from 9 and 10 News at 5.
I'm Kelly Davis in Reed City, where test scores have dropped for students facing a tougher curriculum.
I'm Evan Dean in Grand Traverse County, where local veterinarians are seeing an outbreak of the parvovirus, a disease that infects dogs.
I'm Christina Vecchioni in Montmorency County. A recent report shows the number of people with concealed pistol license here is the second largest in the state.
Cool, damp, windy were the weather words for today. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine. I'll have that forecast coming up.
From Northern Michigan's news leader, this is 9 and 10 News at 6.
We're going to do what we need to do to make sure that we're solvent.
There are just 2 days left for schools across northern Michigan to finalize their budgets. 9 and 10 News has been closely following the state of education in northern Michigan.
Now that the state budget is final, schools are crunching their numbers for the upcoming school year. In many cases, it means making deep and painful cuts. The state budget just signed into law includes a huge drop in school funding, about $470 per pupil. Now, there is a way for schools to get back some of that money, but it's not enough to avoid cuts. Thursday is the deadline to finalize school budgets. While some districts are cutting to the bone this year, others are pushing the cuts off until next year or beyond. That's what Pine River Schools in Osceola County is doing. The move saves teachers and programs, but jeopardizes their financial future. 9 and 10's Eric Lloyd spoke with the school and has tonight's top story.
The clock is ticking for northern Michigan schools to finish their budgets. Cuts have become a part of the business for schools, but this year the cuts seem deeper than ever.
Every single dollar extra that you spend that's not budgeted has to be carefully thought out.
Last night at Pine River area schools, leaders decided to minimize cuts this year and dig deeper into their safety funds, leaving them dangerously low.
We are dipping into the fund equity, $839,000 to balance our budget. Unfortunately, that will leave us with only a $650,000 fund equity, which won't be enough to get us through next school year.
The district will lose only one teacher position and no school programs. Reductions will be made to extracurricular activities and sports.
The minimal cuts to athletics, I'm happy to say we reduced 9th grade girls volleyball, 9th grade boys basketball, middle school football, sideline cheer.
A lot of the funding that they had been receiving probably won't be there anymore, so the requests that we see from coaches and stuff will probably be greater. Things more related to, uniforms or more equipment related things that the teams absolutely have to have.
The move will force the district to make drastic cuts next year if no help arrives. But for now, they are happy to do what they can to best teach their students.
We're still having band, we still have art, we still have a fantastic shop program, so we haven't reduced any of our programs. Or eliminated, I should say.
Reporting from Osceola County, Eric Lloyd, 9 and 10 News.
Despite the risk, Pine River is confident they will meet budget next year. And tonight, we know the tough times silenced the music at one Grand Traverse County school district. Forest area community schools decided to cut the band program. That's after some other very hard decisions. After increasing class sizes and laying off faculty, the district was still left with a more than $200,000 deficit. The district superintendent tells us non-core programs are the first to go during tight budget periods.
From struggling schools to struggling students, new test results show a drop in scores in certain subjects. The Michigan Merit Exam numbers were released today.
Juniors take the exam that includes a collection of tests and the ACT. With continuing coverage, 9 and 10's Kelly Davis spoke to one local school district whose scores slipped. Kelly?
Michelle, Reed City School scores were down, but they still fared well against other local districts. All in all, the school says the scores are disappointing. Schools are asked to meet higher expectations set by the state, but they say they're struggling with the resources to do so.
We're at the point where, unfortunately, what we're going to be able to do for kids is declining.
The second wave of high school juniors faced with a tougher curriculum took the MME exam this past spring. Across the state, results were mixed. But in Reed City, test scores were down.
We certainly think it's a good idea to have the high expectations, but at the same time, I sometimes question the motivation that some of our students have when they take the test.
Like many other area schools, Reed City has slashed away at its budget for several years. Schools say that might be to blame for the dramatic drop in two standout subjects like math and science. But it's too early to tell.
Our math and science classes have, greater number of students. We have fewer resources to provide them with extra tutoring and remedial help. So to some degree, I would say it's almost expected.
This year, 43% of high school juniors at Reed City tested proficient in math and 54% in science, meaning they met state standards. But that's down significantly from last year, when juniors tested 54% proficient in math and 66% in science. MME results didn't fare well in other subjects either. The school says at this point, their hands are tied.
You'd like to make some of the changes, you'd like to improve some of the things, but when you don't have the funds to do it, you kind of run into some roadblocks.
For a link to see how your school district did, head to 9and10news.com. Reporting live, Kelly Davis, 9 and 10 News.
New at 6 tonight, 2 people are dead after colliding with a semi. The crash happened just after 11 this morning at the corner of M33 and Greenwood Road in Ogemaw County. Here's a picture sent to us from the scene. You can see there's not much left of the car. The sheriff tells us a woman driving the car pulled out in front of the semi. She died at the scene. Her son later died at the hospital. The 2 are from the Detroit area. The semi driver was checked out at a local hospital and will be okay.
The Charlevoix County Sheriff says a Beaver Island woman mistook the brake pedal for the gas and ended up driving into an airport building. It happened at the Fresh Air Aviation Building a little after 9 o'clock this morning and caused substantial damage. The car first crashed through a small wooden fence and then went another 50 feet before hitting the building. The 75-year-old woman was sent to the hospital, but is okay. The University of Michigan recruit 16-year-old Austin Hatch is still recovering tonight after a plane crash left him in critical condition. Hatch's father, Dr. Stephen Hatch, and stepmother, Kimberly, died in Friday night's crash in Charlevoix. The NTSB is still trying to figure out what caused their plane to go down. Even though Hatch's injuries are critical, he is stable, and a CT scan showed he isn't getting any worse. But there is no timeline and when he'll get better. Later on 9 and 10 News at 6, hear from U of M's basketball coach who shared his thoughts on the Hatch family today.
In this update, we now have a sketch of the man police say robbed 2 Lake Osceola state banks. Last week, a man robbed the bank in Wellston at gunpoint. Police believe it's the same man that robbed the Lake Osceola State Bank in Luther on June 3rd. Here's a sketch of the man that was caught on surveillance video during each robbery. Police say he was well disguised but stands about 6 feet tall, weighing 180 to 200 pounds. Investigators want to hear from you if you know who it is.
We had nothing infected with parvo, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks later we're 10 or 12 dogs where we have confirmed cases of parvo.
A deadly dog disease is breaking out in northern Michigan. The virus is called canine parvovirus. It typically affects puppies and older, non-vaccinated dogs. 9 and 10's Evan Dean spoke with veterinarians in Grand Traverse County today about the disease and joins us live in the newsroom. Evan, why is this outbreak so alarming?
And Michelle, veterinarians say at least 7 dogs have died from the disease in the past 2 weeks. They say they haven't seen an outbreak like this in years.
The past few summers, we've seen maybe 1 to 3 cases of parvovirus all summer. So far in the last 2 weeks, we've had 8 cases.
The parvo outbreak has veterinarians in Grand Traverse County on high alert. They say it's an extremely contagious dog disease.
It's spread mostly through feces. It can be tracked in. It doesn't have to be dogs' direct contact with the feces.
Once a dog gets infected, the disease attacks their intestines. Veterinarians say the effects are devastating.
The virus goes through and basically removes the ability of the dog to absorb nutrients. The dog basically will starve to death.
A lot of them become so debilitated that they are unable to survive. Even the puppies who do survive can have damage in their intestinal tract that causes them some lifelong problems.
Experts say prevention is simple. Get your puppies vaccinated. They shouldn't go out into public until they've received all vaccines recommended by veterinarians.
If you've not vaccinated your puppy and it has any vomiting or diarrhea, you need to get it to a veterinarian immediately.
Parvovirus is one of those diseases that's absolutely preventable.
And experts say dogs need to be vaccinated 3 times at 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and 16 weeks. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Evan Dean for 9 and 10 News.
I feel that if a person wants to protect themselves, they should.
With that mindset, more people in northern Michigan are applying for concealed gun permits. State police records show there are more than 270,000 permit holders statewide. That's double the number 5 years ago. And many of those permits are here in northern Michigan. 9 and 10's Christina Vecchione is live in the Petoskey newsroom with more on the increase.
Phil, 10 years ago, Michigan became a shall-issue state, making it easier to get concealed pistol licenses. Since then, more people have taken advantage.
I think everybody would agree that a man should be able to protect his wife and family and himself at his house.
Raymond Banks, owner of Ray's New and Used Guns in Hillman, never goes anywhere without his gun.
I've been carrying this type grip for now over 30 years, and it just fits in your belt. My overhauls.
Banks is just one of 539 people in Montmorency County with a concealed pistol license. To put that in perspective, a recent report shows approximately 68 people out of every 1,000 in the county have a CPL, making it the second highest in the state.
There's a form you fill out, and then what we do is do a file check on you to make sure, check on your criminal history and stuff, and if you meet those guidelines, then we issue the permit.
Though Montmorency County Sheriff Don Edwards can't explain why, he says he's noticed an increase in permit applications. Banks thinks people are wising up.
Now we're getting educated to the degree that law enforcement don't have enough law enforcement to protect everybody.
Sheriff Edwards, however, says there's no obvious link between the concealed pistol licenses and crime.
We have no instances that I'm aware of where because you have a weapon, there was a crime involved with that weapon or stopping crime.
Banks says handgun sales have drastically increased over the last 10 years. Live in the Petoskey newsroom, Christina Vecchione, 9 and 10 News.
Coming up, it's almost time to start training for a half marathon coming to northern Michigan, and the views should be spectacular. We'll tell you where.
And later, there are just a few days until July 4th, but we'll tell you one way to experience festivities early.
Yeah, of course, it was rather gray and damp at times today, but we have much warmer weather and brighter skies already in for some of you. We'll talk about that warming trend coming up.
You've never seen a new Buick like this. The all-new Regal, $299 a month at Bill Marsh. Up to 30 miles per gallon, and all the luxury you'd expect in a Buick. $299 a month Buick Regal. At Bill Marsh, Traverse City.
Here we go again. The fun never ends.
Tomorrow on Michigan This Morning.
Imagine living your life feeling like you've just stepped off a roller coaster. Over 2 million Americans do, and it's not a fun ride. We'll tell you about an easy solution that's helping people stand on solid ground in our Healthy Living segment at 5:16 and 6:54.
The 3-day holiday weekend is coming, and Michael Stevens will have a better handle on the forecast and his 10-minute weather guarantee first thing at 5.
Northern Michigan's #1 way to start your day begins with the top stories and the 10-minute weather guarantee at 5 a.m.
It's worth the drive to BillMarsh.com. 50 of the most popular SUVs under $15,000. Some you just won't find anywhere else. 50 SUVs under $15,000 at 3 price point locations, including Bill Marsh, Kalkaska.
The weather is brought to you by 9and10classifieds.com.
Now, Northern Michigan's most accurate and reliable forecast from the Doppler 9 and 10 weather team.
Well, looking live outside here at Petoskey, looking a whole lot better than it did just a few hours ago. Yes, still looking at dry roadways. The skies are looking brighter, still overcast, but they are getting brighter and brighter, not just here in Petoskey, but area-wide. And that gives you a nice one for tomorrow. Plenty of sun. Grab the sunglasses, and temperatures will be responding to that sunshine. Tomorrow's highs, most areas are looking at highs in the 70s. So a beautiful Wednesday setting up. Today, though, we had the gray skies, a little bit of morning sunshine, but most spots it didn't last long. Clouds filtered in. Along with the clouds, pockets of rain showers, some drizzle, mist at times, and even out there right now, still finding some light sprinkles, light rain showers out towards Sault Ste. Marie. Little band is still trying to make its way eastbound across this area. Perhaps northeastern lower, the higher spots, still a little drizzle coming down, but you know this is not going to last too much longer. The end of clouds is basically right on here. Western spots, there's the high pressure. There is your sunshine moving in for tomorrow, and behind that still some good sunshine as well. That means even warmer weather developing, not just for tomorrow, but going in towards that holiday weekend as well. And tonight, you can see the space station, no problems here for most locations, especially west of I-75, between 1108 and 1112 right there, rising to the west-northwest and heading off to the southeast. Jumping ahead now, future view, 1 o'clock in the morning. There's some lingering clouds, maybe a sprinkle far eastern spots, but otherwise, Traverse City, Cadillac, Mount Pleasant, a lot of clear skies coming tomorrow morning. A lingering cloud, still perhaps northeastern lower, but they will not last long. You'll see a lot of sunshine throughout the day. And like I said, temperatures might be dropping down to the 40s and 50s for tonight's lows. Don't worry, things are going to warm up very nicely by 7 p.m. right there. Still a ton of sunshine. Now on Thursday, 5 p.m., clouds be increasing. We have this warm front knocking on the doorstep. That will set off some showers, some storms overnight into Friday, but also usher in a lot of heat and humidity. That means temperatures on Friday, 80s to perhaps 90 degrees. A big contrast compared to what you're seeing right now. Look at this, Sioux, 48, 52 in Gaylord, 70 though Ludington, that late day sunshine there. Big Rapids coming in at 68 degrees and looking live in Charlevoix. Not too much of a good day out there right now. 53 degrees. Mount Pleasant warming up a little bit. 66 degrees. And in Traverse City, after high 69, it's cooled off to 63 at this hour. Overnight in the UP and the Straits, decreasing clouds, early evening sprinkle. Otherwise, looking a whole lot better come tomorrow. Nighttime lows 40s. Tomorrow's highs basically low 70s. Mackinac City about 69 degrees. In our northern lower counties, your lows 40s to about 50 degrees, decreasing clouds, lighting up, the winds will light up, and of course tomorrow winds not bad at all. And of course tomorrow a lot of sunshine as well. High temperatures upper 60s to low 70s. And our central lower counties, here are your lows, mid 40s to low 50s lakeside. Clouds are already moving out, and of course tomorrow a lot of sunshine. Winds 5 to 15. High temperatures, Ludington 71, otherwise 75 to about 76. Really a beautiful Wednesday setting up. Hope you like that sunshine. Continues for Thursday, but you'll find more clouds during the day and warming temperatures continuing on into Friday. More humidity, getting rather sticky. Scattered showers, some storms developing on Friday. Temperatures mostly 80s both Friday and Saturday, and still the chance of showers and storms around later on Sunday.
Thanks, Tom. Northern Michigan's news leader has more waiting for you over on Fox 32 News at 7 and 10. Crystal Oko joins us live now with a preview. Crystal?
Some say it holds a lot of sentimental value. Fox 32's Jennifer Prophet takes us to a rally that hopes to save the steam locomotive in Clinch Park that the city is planning to remove. Look for a full report at 10. And Fox 32's Alex Jokic is pulling on her flippers and going for a dive with the Cherry Capital Guardians. At 7 and 10, catch these Sea Cadets in action as they complete their training in Mount Pleasant. Plus that full forecast in the first 10 minutes at 7 and 10.
And tonight on 9 and 10 News at 11, there was a special public hearing in Mason County tonight about a proposed wind farm. The proposal aims to build 50 wind turbines in 2 different townships. We will be at that meeting and bring you a response from everyone involved. And the state Senate approved legislation that would repeal a mandatory helmet law. At 11, what's prompting lawmakers to make the change?
A great celebration is on the way just in time for our nation's birthday. Next, how you can take part.
I vow to be ready to go whenever you are. I vow to work even after the sun goes down, and to take a tank of gas as far as she'll go. I vow to be the most fuel-efficient Sierra ever. Now get any 2011 GMC Sierra with 0% financing for 60 months, or get $6,000 total value on this 2011 GMC Sierra PowerTech.
We're just a day away from the biggest 4th of July celebration in northern Michigan. The greatest 4th in the North begins tomorrow in Lake City. The annual Independence Day celebration is full of festivities for 5 days. But before vendors set up and visitors roll into town, the Chamber of Commerce is busy preparing for the crowds. Organizers say the best part of the fun is that most of it is free.
It's very family-oriented. They can come here and be entertained all day long without spending a dime. There is no fees to see the entertainers. Their family can just sit in the park all day and be entertained for nothing.
The festival kicks off with business after 5 tomorrow night. It's a chance to socialize with community members as a local band performs.
Next, runners have another race to prepare for, and it will offer a beautiful and colorful view of our area. More details next. Runners start training. Traverse City could be home to yet another race in a few months. The USRA Half Marathon Series is in talks with the Visitors Bureau to plan a route, possibly utilizing views of the bay. The organization hosts races in 22 mid-sized markets across the country. The Traverse City Half Marathon would be part of their national series, and the director says Northern Michigan would be an exciting addition.
Well, this is a great running community. You've got Bayshore in May, you've got the Cherry Festival run coming up, and so we think there's a great opportunity in the fall, just after the fall foliage season, to bring in a half marathon.
The committee says the inaugural race could be as soon as October 23rd of this year.
The Michigan's Women's Open reached round 2 today. For more on how things went at Crystal Mountain, we toss things over to 9 and 10 Sports Director Aaron Mills. Aaron?
At Phil, the Mountain Ridge course saw some high scores here on day 2 of the Women's Open. As for the second straight round, only 4 golfers played under par. We'll get you caught up on day 2 of the Open coming up. Michigan basketball coach John Beilein released a letter about Wolverines recruit Austin Hatch today. We'll tell you what Beilein had to say next in sports.
Count on your quality North Chevy deal. When Northern Michigan looks for champions, it looks to 9 and 10. Northern Michigan's sports leader.
The Michigan Women's Open is more than halfway home as the second of 3 rounds played out today at Crystal Mountain. Now, it may be called the Michigan Women's Open, but more than a third of this year's field is made up of out-of-staters, including the top 3 golfers from yesterday's opening round. The winds kicking up a bit today for round 2 at Crystal. We start with the first round leader, Ashley Tate, putting from the fringe on par 5, 6th hole here. Finds the bottom of the cup for the birdie. She'd finish 1 over on the day. Tate playing in a group with Julie Tomlinson. Here's her approach on the par 5 9th. This one going to go to within just a few feet. Tomlinson shoots a 5 over today, though. Drops to 3 over for the tourney. Mount Pleasant's Natalie Brem started the day 6 shots back, but she gets the mid-length birdie to drop right here on number 8. As for last year's runner-up, Susie Green Roebuck here, rolling in the birdie on the par 4 7th. She is 9 shots back, though. Stephanie Fleet, her approach on the 9th. Going to make the birdie putt as soon as this thing lands. She sits at 2 over for the tournament, tied for 5th, just 4 shots back. Now Laura Keeney, she just missed the eagle here, but taps in for the birdie and is tied atop the leaderboard. The story of the day, though, Jean Bartholomew, the pro from Palm Beach Guard, Florida, carves a low round of the tournament, shooting a 5 under 67 today to tie for the lead. A look at the leaderboard shows Bartholomew, Keeney, and Tate all tied at 2 under. Everyone else over par. Clarissa Childs 3 shots back, Cindy Fig Courier and Stephanie Fleet at 2 over. Now Scott Hebert sits tied for 15th at 4 under after 3 rounds of the PGA Professional National Championship in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Hebert won the PGA PNC in 2008, shot 1 under day, including a hole-in-one on the par 3 16th that unfortunately was not captured by TV cameras. But I guess it happened. Well, Michigan basketball coach John Beilein has released a letter for supporters of Wolverine recruit Austin Hatch, who's in critical condition following a plane crash in Charlevoix that killed his dad and stepmother. Well, the letter reads in part, Austin needs as much support right now as possible, and he continues to be in our thoughts and prayers during this difficult time. We are grateful that the NCAA has relaxed some of the contact restrictions currently in place to accommodate this unique set of circumstances for our coaches. The outpouring of support from our Michigan faithful, coaches, administrators, and fans across the country has been overwhelming. We are thankful for all the support that has been offered to the Hatch family. Well, it is back to interleague play for the Tigers tonight. They open a 3-game series at home to the Mets. Rick Porcello grew up a Mets fan living in New Jersey, gets the start for the Tigers. Game time is 7:05. We'll have highlights for you tonight on Sports Extra. See you then.
As you know, it felt like fall today. The gray skies, temperatures generally 60s and 50s. Tomorrow, what a huge difference. A lot of sunshine, 70s. It still might be below normal, but you know what? It's going to be sunny tomorrow. After that, look at the temperatures continue rising. Very summer-like weather, summer weather period. 70s, 80s, maybe 90. Saturday, Friday, great weather coming your way.
Lucky for you.
Yeah, and you too. And you, and you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thanks, Tom. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next.
We'll be back at 11. Have a great night.
When you see news happening, call the 9 and 10 newsroom at 1-800-STAR-910 or email us at news@9and10news.com.